I was supposed to do this a while back, so I guess I'll do it now once I got my camera set up and I'm not procrastinating and overthinking certain things. Greetings, everyone. It is I, your one and only host,
the Cosmic Jedi.
Welcome back to the channel. So let me do a quick review. I always say let me do a quick and end up recording an hour-long video. I'm going to be very mindful about time, especially because my battery is dying right now.
Damn!
So let's get into it. Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2.
Fight!
Honestly, I'll just start off by saying I like Zack Snyder. Doesn't mean he hasn't done some whack movies. Doesn't mean he hasn't done some annoying things in these movies as well. Character, expression and whatnot. But I'll start off by saying the three movies I enjoyed from Zack Snyder, whether he directed or wrote them. I know he didn't write Man of Steel, so I could be wrong. I know he directed Man of Steel, so Man of Steel for me is number 1, 300, and the Justice League.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
Not the idea he had for the Justice League. The Lois Lane and Bruce Wayne relationship thing, I'm not here for that. Even if it's from the comics, doesn't mean that everything that came out from the DC comics or Marvel comics I'm looking forward to seeing on screen. There's certain aspects of these universes that I enjoy, and certain aspects I'm like, nope, not for me. I'm not the target audience. But Man of Steel movie for sure is number 1 for me from Zack Snyder. I enjoy that movie. It has massive replayability. I can rewatch that without skipping any scenes. I can maybe the Kevin Costner scene where he was about to die and he told Clark not to save him because of the dog thing. I'm not a dog person like that, so that didn't I was like, there's no way I'll let anyone I care about die because of a dog.
Damn! And
then 300, oh my gosh. One of the best action movies of that time for me. For me, it's one of the best action movies of that time. That's when he used slow-mo scenes properly. In this Rebel movie 1 and 2, he misused and abused the slow-mo scenes. How could you come from 300 to this and then it's like if someone's jumping over a chair to just take cover and hide and start crying. You did that in slow motion?
What?
It's like there's a cosmic unspoken rule about slow motion. It's either before a grenade goes off when someone throws it towards you and your family members, or a grenade is about to go off and you deflect it back against the enemy in slow motion, or you take cover before a missile hits you, or you miss a katana about to cut off your head. Slow motion is supposed to emphasize the quick reaction or the near miss of an attack on the hero or the bad guy, or whichever one. John Woo is one of the kings of slow motion. And slow-mo replay. He would replay one scene like 4 or 5 times, and I love him for that. But Zack abused the slow motion in these movies, both of them. My goodness. Aside from the kerfuffle that happened to him in regards to the first iteration of the Justice League, the 4-hour version, a little too long.
I can be your sugar when you're feeling for that sweet spot.
That's not what she said. It's a little too long, but I still appreciate that than what we were given before. Batman versus Superman, nah. Some parts of that I liked, some parts I didn't like. But ever since the passing of his daughter, certain things change. Of course, that will affect any parent. Since we got the Zack Snyder cut of the Justice League, I enjoyed that much better, much more than I did the Joss Whedon one. Obviously, a little too long, but I still enjoyed it. It's much better. It's the Batman versus Superman thing. I don't know why he didn't just follow the original or the version we're all used to, or the hardcore comic book fans are all used to when it comes to Batman versus Superman. There's a way they could have led into that. I wanted a separate Batman movie where the Batman we got was more brutal than what we're used to. He got tired of putting people in Arkham and then coming out. He got tired of putting people in prison and then coming out. He thought, okay, you know what? Maybe if I break a few necks and arms and spines, there will be no comebacks, you know? So I didn't mind a more brutal or darker Batman. If you like what you like, you like what you like. I like what I like. So people didn't like the fact that he chose to go down the route of a darker Batman. I enjoyed it. It made me laugh too, because I was like, well, surely if you guys are comic book fans, hardcore comic book fans, you know that there are different iterations of Batman across the multiverse. So Zack happened to choose the one that was more brutal than the other ones. There's nothing wrong with that. So I saw some people saying this is not a true authentic Batman. I'm like, well, there's another Batman who carries guns, for God's sake. So I don't. Anyway, so the Batman versus Superman thing, didn't really like, that the way he went with it, the way Superman couldn't just talk to him and say, Lex has kidnapped my girlfriend and trying to set us up.
Rubbish.
I mean, I know Bruce was pissed off with him, but we're being played right now, There's other ways you could have done it. That's why if you avoided that particular path, you wouldn't end up with that conundrum. If you'd followed the exact same path in the original story, you wouldn't end up with the whole, well, if Bruce didn't witness the fight going through the city and killing thousands and thousands of people, then he wouldn't be pissed off with Superman. Where if you didn't follow this story, or if you didn't choose this path to write the story, you wouldn't end up with this conundrum. You'd have gone the exact same route of the original story. And fair enough, sometimes you don't always want to take word for word what's in the comic book page, because some comic book readers might spoil it for newcomers or spoil it for their friends who they know haven't read the comics, but they're excited. They might get excited and start spilling nonsense online and then spoil the whole experience. So it's like, well, my friend is already talking about the story, I don't need to pay money to see this in the cinema. Whereas some of us who don't read the comics and have comic book friends who tell us the story, we get more excited, like, oh, is that what's going to happen? I can't wait to see how that's going to carry over from the page onto the screen. So I feel sometimes that could be a win-win for DC, but I'm not in charge. I don't run any studios, so I don't know how it feels to want to tell these stories, but have to find ways to avoid spoilers by choosing other stories or combining different stories that sometimes make sense and sometimes don't make sense. Now, the next movie that came out from Zack that I didn't like was Army of the Dead. Actually, let me talk about Sucker Punch first. Sucker Punch was okay. It's like he tends to have hit and miss for some movies. Some movies just pure straight through, like Man of Steel 300, straight through. I don't even know if he did a slow-mo scene in Man of Steel. And I've watched that so many times, I can't remember any more slow-mo scenes in that movie. Maybe I'm missing some out. But 300, there was no one scene where I thought, overplayed slow-mo. Too much use of slow-mo. Every scene, from beginning, middle to end, pure action, good, simple story. Strong story too. Love that movie, man. God damn. So for him to come from Man of Steel to, from 300, whichever one, 300, Man of Steel, and then Batman v Superman, I'm like, what? What's going on here? Especially after all that happened to him with Warner Brothers. You're like, okay, cool. He's about to come out with a zombie movie on Netflix. It's about to get spicy. In fact, when I first saw the trailer of the Army of the Dead, I thought it was a heist that these guys were hired for to go into the casino. Maybe it was like two people having a rivalry thing. And one of them hired these guys, go into that other guy's casino, rob the money. I'll give you half or whatever. You be millions rich, yada, yada, yada. And by the time they came out of the casino, all hell broke loose. So before they went in, everything was fine. They go in, meet a few hurdles, power goes out, start the engine again. They break the vault. They're like, oh, we're about to get buck wild. We're about to spend money here. As soon as they come out into the casino, they see one or two things weird. Like, okay, that guy's walking funny. They didn't have to shoot someone. They panic, And because they were told, by the way, get your guns ready because you might meet a rival team trying to rob or trying to get the money out of this particular vault as well. So that's what I thought it was going to be. Then they come out of the whole casino and then all hell's broken loose. Helicopters are flying and crashing. Jets are dropping bombs everywhere. And they're hearing people growling and moaning and monsters and zombies. I was like, oh, that would be a dope movie. Imagine going in with the idea of, well, the money I'm making is okay, but you mean if we work together, if I pick my team together properly, we go into this vault. Some of us got debts and whatnot. We go in and come out millionaires. The amount of money we're about to break out from this vault is so much that we can give the rest based on the agreement we have to this guy who's hired us and still come out millionaires, each of us. It's a no-brainer. So they're excited. They're asking each other, where are you going to spend your money? What are you going to do? I'm going to invest. I'm going to travel. I'm going to leave. I'm going to build a house, so and so. Then they come out of the vault and obviously experience one or two weird occurrences. They pay no mind to it and they come out of the whole casino. It's like there's nowhere else to spend this money. Earth just went into zombie mode out of nowhere overnight. I thought that was the whole premise. I was so excited only to watch the movie. It was nothing like what I expected or hoped or thought it was going to be. Plus, even the premise of the movie itself there were so many elements in the movie that I was like, there's no way Zack expects us to look forward to reviewing this movie with good reviews and look forward to part 2. Then he drops it as doing a prequel with the safe cracker.
What?
We're here for monsters and zombies. Why do I need to see a why do I need to see a prequel of the safe cracker and a team that we don't? So he's going to form his own team in the prequel, but we know they're not going to make it to this movie because they're not in this movie. We're trying to figure out how did the zombie thing start, and you left us in the cliffhanger, so we're looking forward to the sequel. But you're talking about a prequel and then animation. So from then I was like, okay, there's something going on. Something's going on somewhere. Zack tends to have these beautiful ideas, beautiful concepts, but he squishes everything together into one thing. Batman v Superman was a sign for me, subtle sign like, yo, this dude ain't really, he can direct, but story-wise, nah, he's not fresh, like he's not spicy like that. But Army of the Dead was his project. No one is pulling the strings, no one is controlling the money, no one is saying you can't do this, no one is treating him like they did at DC, no one is holding you back, no one is controlling you. We're here for it. You gave us Man of Steel, you gave us Justice League, you gave us 300, so we trust you. You're capable. Watchmen, that's the one I knew I forgot. I knew I forgot something there. I knew I forgot something. Watchmen, I did have 1 or 2 problems with it, but it was still a good watch.
Nice.
Like the choreography, the fight scene, like right at the beginning was beautiful. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. And I was looking forward to a sequel for that one. So after Army of the Dead, I said, this guy, I won't trust you like that easily anymore. You are giving us zombies, alien-ish, robots, zombies having sex and getting pregnant. Did he have sex with that pregnant lady, or did he find her pregnant before he bit her? And then when he bit her, she's turned zombie. He made her queen zombie. Did he make her queen zombie because she was pregnant prior to him biting her? What? And if so, you're telling me that she was the only pregnant lady in Vegas, and there were no other pregnant ladies who happened to be more pregnant. What the fuck? So the movie left me with many unanswered questions and scenes that didn't make sense, story plots that didn't make sense, bits and pieces that were just, why are we seeing a spaceship fly at the start of this? What is this then? So this is an experiment from aliens leaving Area 51 or Area 50, whatever it is. And then the containment team they had to take care of the thing in case something might have happened, they were stupid. They reacted. You know what? I think I'm going to make a separate video for Army of the Dead. Yeah, I'm going to make a separate video for Army of the Dead, because that movie is a piss take to intelligent movie lovers who want to watch something intelligent, exciting, action, and leave with a good feeling, or like, well, that was a good experience. It was a very, very frustrating movie for me, very frustrating. So that's when I was like, oh, Zack Snyder, I'm not going to trust you fully. When I see that you've written and directed something, directing, yeah, action, yeah, I'm there. Space, oh, I'm there. But you've written and directed, ooh, no sir. No siree, Bob. Nada. So fast forward to Rebel Moon. I know what it feels like to have awesome ideas in your head. And people like us who aspire to be directors, actors, storytellers, voiceover artists, and so on and so forth, who are either trying to get into the industry or create our own lane. I don't like to crap on someone's idea or ideas or world building when they have it the way they have it in their head. But collectively, we can just about say, yo, you pulled off Man of Steel, you pulled off 300, you pulled off Watchmen. But Army of the Dead and Rebel Moon, something ain't right here, man. Something ain't right. Anyway, I said I want to make this video short. 1 and 2, I preferred part 1 to 2. Even though I didn't like part 1 that much, there were some glaring issues with part 1 for sure. Pacing, the way they were going around to different towns or different planets to rally different skilled warriors to come and fight or to come and protect this farm village and fight against the Empire. And even when people were saying, oh, there's similarities to Star Wars and whatnot, he originally went to Lucas to pitch the idea and they said no. It's sad, but it's, when you see the outcome of the movie, you're like, okay, I can see why Lucas just said no. And I can't crap on him because I can't crap on him and say, oh, he was copying Lucas with the saber and this. There are many, stories and themes and ideas everyone share from each other. And there are probably some ideas that we don't know. We're taking from some ancient civilization that we don't know about and brought onto screen. And we think it's a unique thing to that person or that director or that creator. Whether or not it's similar to Star Wars, that doesn't bother me. As long as it's a good story. And I'm always here for a new world to get immersed into. Like Dune. I've never read any Dune books or novels or audiobooks. Nothing. Even the original series, I've never seen it. When I first heard about a planet where there's sandworms and whatnot, it's a great concept. It's almost like Tremors, but 10,000 times bigger than Tremors. And it's in space and spice and the spaceships, the attire, House Atreides, Paul Atreides, this, that. It just works. It somehow just works, especially with Paul Deneuve, the director who directed the recent Dune movie. The first one, I was like, fingers crossed, please be good enough. Don't be too hasty to explain the story so people whose brain process information differently in a different pace than others can absorb the information and get involved in the story. Beautiful pacing, not rushed, not too slow, just right. So I got involved with Dune instantly because I was like, you know what? I love Star Wars and I love Star Trek, but I want more. I can't always look forward to Star Trek and Star Wars. And even the Star Trek thing is up and down. Oh, they might do a Star Trek movie, they might not. Who are they going to cast? Where are they going to go? What's this? That's like an open waters thing for them to just create great stories, but they're taking too much time and whatever. And Star Wars as well, the up and down. Rey, Finn, and Skywalker Legacy, no Skywalker Legacy. Darth Vader Legacy, no Darth Vader Legacy. You guys have a plethora of stories to tell, and you're all afraid to tell great, epic stories. You're always relying on this Luke Skywalker thing, you're assuming the audience is waiting for that. No, we want new stuff, man. We want new stuff, new exciting stuff, because you created Luke and the rest of them out of thin air. I mean, we don't know if you're inspired by other real life scenarios or ancient scenarios, but still, it worked. So the fact that you can do it with them, do it with another story. So when I heard Rebel Moon, I was like, okay, you know what? Let me honor him the same way I honored George Lucas, the same way we honored the people who created Star Trek that we're watching till this day. There's so many cartoons, well, not so many cartoons, so many TV versions or different versions of the TV series of Star Trek, the Starship Fleet, Enterprise, plethora of shows you could watch. If one doesn't suit you, the other one will suit you. So I was like, I welcome a new space odyssey, a space story. We already got Dune, and I love Dune, and Zack is about to step into this one. After Army of the Dead, I said nada. I mean, I'll watch the sequel. Don't get me wrong, I'll watch the second movie, just to see if he improves on it. Anything zombies, I'm there for it. But I wouldn't watch the second one hoping or expecting to be much better. I'm going with very low expectations, not zero expectations, just to enjoy what I can enjoy and then bitch about the shit I know I'm going to bitch about. That would make a good content anyway. So when Rebel Moon was announced, I was like, yep, 50-50. We'll see if it does good, because at least I can add that to my Star Wars, Star Trek, and Dune universe. That's 4 things to look forward to now. Then he drops the movie, some stupid dialogue, annoying scenes. There's a fight scene with a spider lady and another lady with 2 swords. I was like, first of all, if you have, I don't care if your swords can light into fire and water and air bending. My ass can shoot out webs, man. Damn. My ass can shoot out webs. All I need to do is sweep you off your feet. You fall down, web you in your face, web in your arm, take my spear into your heart. On paper, that fight shouldn't have gone the way it did. In fact, I thought it was low-key going to be like a sparring thing. And then the lady submits with her 2 sabers and says, you know what? Listen, you're pissed off. You're in a dire situation. Why don't you join our crew? We're looking to fight the Empire. And plus, you're pissed off with other humans, but the Empire is more of a bigger fish than what you're pissed off about here. I literally thought that's what they were going to do. Instead, when she died so quick. And I was like, there's no way she's dead. They're going to revive her, right? No way on paper. In the real world scenario, that spider lady dies by that dual wielding sword. You can cut off 1 or 2 legs, but yo, webs and the spear, and I got 8 legs? Don't make no sense. Little stupid things like that just irritate viewers like myself. Second one is the worst. There was a shot where the main bad guy who killed the farmer's overseer, or their general, or their all father, for example. That's the best term I could use. They know what he looks like. He was standing there after they had planned to ambush them. And there was a scene where they came out and they were all shooting at the spaceships and whatnot. And not once did any of them face their RPGs or their special modified weapons to hit this guy. Now, it wasn't a thing like one of those things where, because he was augmented from the end of the first one, he can take damage much more than he can before, and he can block bullets or he can deflect bullets. Nothing. There was nothing like that expressed. How can I be the person who witnessed this guy kill my elder in the village? You've weaponized me now because we know you're coming. And then as you've arrived, we all have different angles and vantage points. We've all hidden underneath the sand. We all pop out and we take out the spaceships. Fine. The whole point is to take out the spaceships so they don't go back up in the air or fight. But even upon landing, we all, the viewers, saw that they brought mechas and tech suits and different Gundam looking things. So even if you feel like, this isn't what we planned for, but at least we can kill this guy. This is the guy who killed our leader. We know how he looks. We know his face. This chick, the Scargiver told us he died. She was shocked to see him that he was alive. So that means you guys can revive people. Nah, no revive for you twice. No resurrection this time. No resurrection this time. So one of them, at least, I thought should have just come out with a missile. He just hit him with the spaceship, but they didn't. Then he fell on the floor when the blast pushed him left, right, and center. I was like, you mean all these things are exploding around you and no shrapnel hit you? Nothing? No blast, no sand in your eyes, or no little extra heat just scorching your skin a little bit? This is why you don't write certain scenes, because in real life, if that was a real thing, I would aim for that guy. Knowing that I was going to die because you brought more machines here, at least I kill that guy. At least I kill him. And I know my other people with their own missile launchers would at least take out 2-3 spaceships, but I've killed this guy. I'm satisfied with that. And then there was one guy, I think one of the other guys in the first one, who was a prominent one, who they made it look like he liked Scargiver, but Scargiver didn't like him back the way he liked her. Or it's like, oh, you guys would make a great match. He jumped and made all the noise and like, why are you screaming? Why? Just take him by surprise. Don't let him know you're coming. This guy killed your leader and he's here to wipe you guys out. You all know this. So the best thing to do is, at least, even though you've taken him out and a few people, it doesn't matter. You know you're going to die, but at least you've taken him out and some people. You went down in glory. So that scene, I was like, oh, Zack shouldn't have put that in, because he should be dead. He would have died. So if he had died, how would your story or your movie have progressed from there? I mean, there are other things I could speak on, but it's neither here nor there. I don't really care about his world. I don't care about the story. I don't anymore. Before I did, but now I don't. Because this whole empire thing, you're going around looking for grain, but you're bullying people to give you grain. You're asking for grain, and then someone says, we don't really want to partake in feeding your army, because by us giving you grain, we're partaking in your war. So you bully them, but you need the grain. You could threaten the planet, or you could wipe them out and take over the planet and then have machines do the grain thing, or have people train the machines to cultivate more grain, and then half the civilization say, you know what, you are a number of people, I'm going to half you and teach you a lesson, but I'm going to leave machines here. I don't even want to get into, because that's making my brain think too much. I didn't like the second one, didn't mind aspects of the first one, but the second one from beginning, middle to end was just so annoying. And there was some fight scenes, gun battle scenes between Jamin Hunsoon, the other guy who rode the Griffin in the first one, against the army. And there were some scenes where the army would just be looking around like this. I'm like, I know those are the extras. But when you're directing a scene like that, you can't have your camera focusing on a wide range of people, and you haven't given key commands to every particular actor or actress on set who's wearing the armor to react a particular way. And even the way the Jaimin and the other guy went against them on the bridge, they had no armor on. We didn't see them augmenting their gun to say our guns are going to be piercing armor rounds. And there was like at least 15. Maybe that's even too much of a number. Let's say 10 guys on the bridge versus the 2, Jaimin and this other dude. There wasn't enough slow-mo scenes to say they were dodging. They didn't have enough grenades. No one had bow and arrow and spares. I don't get it, man. Because visually, these things irritate people like me. We're like, yo, we can see something's off about this stuff, man. You're showing us people dressed in armor, and these guys don't have armor. And you want us to believe that they took these guys down. There's 10 of them versus 2. Didn't like the movie, man. It was crap.
Damn, son.
And now he's talking about, oh, he's going to release a director's cut. What? That's another thing I don't like. I'm bored of in Hollywood. You release one, you take long to release the second one. What? Some of us forget about the first one. We got to go rewatch the first one since your second one is out. And then there was a scene where they're all doing each backstory stuff. Who cares? Then after it didn't do too well, you then wait a little while and you release a post saying, oh, when I release the director's cut. What? It's like asking someone to teach you how to cook a meal and they're giving you ingredients every 2 months. Either teach me how to cook the meal now or piss off. Director's cut, special edition. What? Left eye edition. What? Right testicle edition. What? What the hell is this bullshit about? It's a business, Jedi. You know nothing about it. This is what Hollywood does. It's money. You people are so quick to just respond with answers that you haven't even thought of or constructed in your own mind. You've just read it somewhere. You've heard it somewhere. It's a business. Business. It's just money. Just money. Don't be a crybaby. This is an insult to people who pay for these services. If you're not paying for Netflix, you're going to the cinema or theater to watch this stuff. It's an insult. And to people who love storytelling, creative storytelling, beautiful world building, beautiful character growth, story arcs, archetypes, a plethora of things you can weave into your storytelling. Real life scenario, art imitating life, life imitating art, historical events that you can weave into your story, that you're finding new creative ways to educate people about a real life thing in a fictional way that it's taken a while to get it, but they will get it eventually. It's just a business. It's just business. There's nothing wrong with the director's cut. Anything Zack announces from now on saying he's working on a new thing, if I hear he's directing and writing, I'm cool. I ain't paying money to see that shit. Nah. I even pay money for the Blu-ray. I watch it at someone else's house. If a friend invites me, I'm cool. Never. Rubbish. If you say he's directing the thing, I'm down for that. I feel he's a very, very good director. He needs to learn how to tone down the slow-mo thing, because he never used to mess around with slow-mo. Slow-mo was his thing, just like John Woo, especially with 300. Even in Army of the Dead, there were some good slow-mo scenes, but this one, he just bastardized the whole thing. It's almost like he's pissing at the fans. We're the ones who are like, oh no, releases the Snyder cut for the Justice League. And then, you got the win. I know what it feels like to have a world or worlds inside you of stories and how you want to tell them. And sometimes some of these stories, even though they're separate, they're connected as a connective thread or theme between all these different stories. Whether there's one about a planet, whether there's one about underwater creatures, it's doable to weave or create your own world where they're all things are connected. Just like M. Night did the Unbreakable series, and they're all connected. Some people didn't like that. Some people didn't mind that. We don't know, truthfully, if that was his intention from inside his head, all from the get-go. We don't know. But for those who like it, it works. For those who don't, they still enjoy the movie separately. In their head, it's like it's not all connected. So I know what it feels like, and I appreciate new IP. I appreciate new ideas, even if it's regurgitated stuff, but fine-tuned and tweaked. I appreciate it. I'm a storyteller myself, so I love stories. I love telling stories. Love seeing creative ways of stories being told through gaming, cartoons and movies, voiceover work, audiobooks, stop motion animation. But when you come on screen and tell a story that isn't cohesive enough, and we're seeing stupid things repeatedly, and it's a pattern where we're like, dude, you're not letting this thing breathe, man. You're making it look like people are fighting you. But if you assess your own thing, I don't know if he has a team that says, yo, Zack, pull it back a bit, man. These are awesome ideas. Take time and focus on each of them. Maybe it's a neurodivergent thing. Sometimes I feel he might have that neurodivergent multipotentialite energy within him. And I know how it feels to have a plethora of ideas. I want everything out now. I want to do my games. I want to do my cartoons. I want to do my movies. I want to do stop motion stuff. All of them. And connect the thread and this thought. So people will be like, oh, when we watch this, I didn't know it was connected to this. Then you got to go back and watch it again and enjoy. But most importantly, I want people to come out feeling, damn, that was an awesome experience. That was an awesome experience. Wow. Can't wait to see it again. I'm still watching old school movies that came out in the 80s and 90s. Now, in 2024, I'm still watching old school movies, especially movies like Last Action Hero, Total Recall, Commando, RoboCop 1 and 2. Great stories, great action. Anyway, I'm done waffling on, man. I don't trust the guy. If I see directing, cool. Directed by and written by, no. And I wonder if something did really happen to him after the passing of his daughter. May her soul rest in peace. Yeah, I do wonder if something broke there or snapped or fractured a bit. But his creative vision, never take that away from him. I would never shit on a man's idea or a woman's idea, never. But at the same time, you're calling us in to sharing your idea, to sharing your vision, to experience your idea and your vision, to sit down and give you an hour and a half or 2 hours of our time to partake in your vision. And you might say, some people might say, oh, we can't all look forward to a new Star Wars story every time or a new Star Trek story every time. Agreed. We need more. We don't want to leave your movies thinking, what the hell was that? Why is that a robot here? Why has that thing got 4 eyes? And you haven't explained nothing. And then you want us to sit down and look forward to the second one. And then you don't release them in the same amount of time. You leave too much time between them. And then the second one is lackluster. Then you tell us you're going to release a director's cut. You're insulting the people who are on this journey with you. Your fans, your viewers, people who love stories, people who love movies. You're insulting them indirectly. Maybe it's not your intention. I'm talking like I'm talking to him. Maybe it's not his intention, but it's an insult. It's an insult to the psyche. When you sit down and watch something, you're giving your currency, your attention to something. And you're receiving something. I don't want something to sit in my psyche because there's no brush or soap I can penetrate my psyche with and wash out bullshit. Anyway, I'm done. I don't even want to ask people who've seen Rebel Moon. I imagine people like, no, we didn't see that. I'm probably the only one who saw it. I know the Constants watched it too as well, but nah, second one was a disappointment. The first one was a good enough movie. Good enough movie. I thought it was going to improve on the second one. And now the director's cut, I don't know if I'm going to see it, man. I don't know if I want to watch that because that's time. I got to sit down and I got to put my mind right again. I'm like, here we go again. It might be shit. It might be good. Who wants to go and see a movie without the excitement? I saw Dune with excitement. Like, oof, boy, this might be some awesome shit right here. Something I could hold on to and say, I look forward to the next one. Like Lord of the Rings, the first time I watched it, ooh, instantly connected to it. I'm like, yeah, can't wait for the second one. Excited. Whereas Zack's, this one now, it's like, if I hear another movie with Zack and I'm like, oh gosh, there we go. It's almost like he's Michael Bay'd himself. I'm outie. I have been your one and only host,
The Cosmic Jedi.
Signing out. This is the guy who said he didn't want to make this video long. It's already way too long. What she said. No, it's not what she said. It's not what she said. I'm outie.